Hello, Instagram world. It feels like it's been forever since I was on here live. I'm actually really happy to be here. It's always a great space to be live, and especially impromptu ones. I like them the best. I have literally just inhaled my lunch, so I hope that my brain is engaged enough to actually share with you what I want to share with you. But feel free to let me know how you are, how you're going, and any questions throughout, put them in as usual. So I wanted to talk to you about Unbound, right? And if you are a man, you don't have to switch off or stop listening to this, because although this program that I'm going to be starting is for women, A, the information is still relevant for you, and B, even if you don't plan to do the program, the information is relevant because I want to share this with you. It's, it's nothing earth-shatteringly different from what I usually talk about, but I want to focus and harness on some specifics about becoming unbound. So a couple of weeks ago, during a YouTube live, I talked about the fact that the information I got that day to share that was really important was the fact that now is the time to let go. That we are, everybody that's on this channel knows this, we are in such a powerful time. We are in such a pivotal time. I was getting asked questions about choosing timelines, and I was talking about that the timeline that you're going to have available to you will be very dependent on your vibration, and it will be very dependent on what weighs you down, right? So the letting go right now is key. And in that YouTube live, I talked about that what came to me as a visual to share was Gulliver and Gulliver's Travels, and how he was anchored down and tied down by the little people having with all the ropes. And that to keep that in your mind and to start asking yourself consciously, what weighs me down? What anchors do I have? What is tying me in place? Because it is not time that moves, but it is us that moves through time. So what weighs you down? That was what that YouTube live was about. After that, as I was shuffling through a deck of cards, the card that came to me was Unbound, and I thought, wow, what a word, what a powerful word, what a powerful concept. And then a third thing happened, and the three have come together to be this program. So what is it that anchors us down? The next step from understanding that what anchors me down is going to is going to determine my vibration. It's also going to determine the timeline that is available to me. But it's not the anchor. If an anchor is not what keeps you in place, but your connection to it, right? You can have something heavy. You can have an anchor sitting there. You have no relationship to it. It has no effect on you if you're not connected to it and tied to it. So what ties us to the anchors is predominantly and most importantly and powerfully our beliefs. And that led me to wanting to talk to you about 4 particular programs that get shared collectively that tie us and anchor us in place. I've called them inverted programs. So the first thing I want to do is let you know what I mean by inverted program in case you're not sure. So an inverted program it's something that gets shared, it gets taught to us, intentionally passed on or not. There would be many that pass it on unintentionally, ourselves included, that there is an element of truth in it that makes us believe that this belief helps us to be in our power. It helps us to stay safe, but it is actually inverted. So we get taught it as a thing of handing down how to be in your power, but it actually keeps us from our power. Does that make sense to you? So I've written down 2 examples that came to me immediately is the whole concept of you must earn your worth. Earn your worth, right? You get taught this growing up. Get a good job. Make sure you have a good job, stable, stability, make a lot of money. Like, you have to earn your worth. You get taught this in the family. You have to earn your place here. This gets passed on through school and then as the job. And we go through life with this perception of, I must earn my worth. That is one of those very inverted programs that basically then starts to teach us that our worth is connected with what we do. Our worth is connected with how productive we are. Our worth is connected to what I do for a living, what title I have, how much schooling I've had, all of this external stuff, because I must earn my worth. So that's one of those really kind of like, you'll hear it in the languaging, you'll see it in the messaging, in the media, we teach it to the next generation. And it is one of those inverted truths that we kind of like just talk about like it's the most normal thing. Earn your keep, earn your worth, earn your value. You know, if you're working at this company, you have to earn your worth. If you're going to be here, you've got to earn your worth. But every time we say it, and every time the languaging around it is actually programming us to feel like our worth is tied to what we do, as though it's not inherently given. As though we have no inherent worth until we start doing, until we become productive, until we start earning. And then we're looking at those things outside of us to determine our worth. The other one that is very common is find the one, right? You'll get told to go out and find the one. When you find the one, right? That messaging runs deep. It's in the fairy tales, it's in the stories, it's in every rom-com, movies, books, all of that, right? That there is you and you are not enough. And that there is this other, when you find your one, they will complete you. That is another inverted program. In the sense that, now is everybody that's sharing that program in on some kind of manipulative? No, that's not what inverted programs are. They are taught to us originally in a manipulated form, but then we take them on as though they are truth. And we share them and we teach them and we model them and we pass them on to the next generation. And they run so deep in our society, possibly within our family, within our DNA, within our own makeup. They run so deep that we just accept them now as truth, or we're so unconscious to how they have kind of like sort of like seeped into every part of us, our languaging, our beliefs, our all of that, who we are. They've seeped into that so much that we actually are enforcing them and reinforcing them just as we go through our day-to-day life quite unconsciously. What the whole find the one does, even the languaging around that, is it makes us feel like, oh, well, I am not enough. What's the term? Of myself, I don't know, I can't think of it right now, it'll come to me. I am not enough and I need to find the one. Even that, you know, that line, what line is that movie from, that you complete me? I mean, like that kind of languaging. Now, why is it an inverted program? It's an inverted program because you will have twin flames. You will have souls that activate each other. You will have soul mates and twin flames, and you will have folks that you encounter that you can activate each other and you can be on a journey with, and you can be on an adventure with, and together you can possibly reach higher states than alone and separate. But this is an inverted program in that it kind of sounds like it's teaching you about power, but it's actually taking it away from you, because it's giving you the messaging of, well, you're not enough. You need to find the one. And then I think particularly women go out on this quest and go, well, I must find the one, right? And I mean, that's a whole program in itself that we could do. But that was just one of the examples. The 4 that I have chosen. Now, this is a program for women, but these are not 4 programs that only affect women. I spoke about yesterday on YouTube, why am I doing this program and why have I done many of my programs just for women? It's not that I don't work with men. It's not that men don't seek out this work. It's not that men don't need support and work. The reason why when I do a program like this, I only do it with women, because it has been my experience that there are many women that if they are in a program with men, they do not allow themselves to express themselves fully. And the same is true for the men. When men are doing this kind of work and they're in a program with women, they also often do not allow themselves to express themselves fully. So I've just made these programs for women. Men, go run these programs for each other. Go, be the one to start them, because they're just as important. But in the meantime, whilst we kind of feel like that in front of each other, I'm just running them for women. So the 4 inverted programs that I'm going to cover in Unbound, which starts next Saturday. The first one is emotions as weakness. So that's one of these ones that kind of really gets ingrained from the time you're a child. Girls get told don't be angry, boys get told don't cry. And okay, we're a lot more aware and awake to this. Many parents are kind of parenting more consciously, but it's a big one. It's a big one. What we're going to do each week, as in the 90-minute Zoom session, live session, as we cover one of these 4 programs. Now, are these the only 4 inverted programs? No, but they are major ones that a lot of the things I see clients have, and a lot of the things you've told me are issues for you at the moment, stem from that. So once we look at the program, emotions is weakness, which gets taught to us in many, many ways. Why is it inverted? It's inverted because our emotions are actually one of our most powerful guidance systems. And keeping us disconnected from them actually it's a major disconnect with our power. It's a major disconnect with our ability to create. Really, our emotions are our superpower. We want to be really connected to them. So what we'll do each week is we look at the program, then we look at, okay, how is this currently showing up? I mean, an example of emotions as weakness is have a look at how many women and men, but I'm just going to talk about women now because that's who the program's for. Have a look at how many women will apologize every time they cry. Will apologize if they get out. I'm sorry, I'm so sensitive. I'm sorry, I'm so sensitive. I'm sorry, I'm crying. Even in sessions, any of you that are practitioners, any of you that have done any kind of work like what I do, you will know, even nurses, people get told the most horrific news and they will start crying and they will immediately apologize. That is a big one. Seeing sensitivity as a bad thing. I have to stop being so sensitive. I have to stop suppressing all of this. The reason why we're seeing so much rise in anxiety, in depression. So what we want to do, and the whole hysterical women thing. So we want to look at how is this program, how does it show up in society as a culture? Where are we seeing the messaging in movies, in the media, things we get taught? And then I want to take you through, so we're going to do part teaching, part guided meditation, part journaling prompts, and then question and answer each week. With the guided meditation and the journaling prompts, I want you to start looking at how was this taught to me in my own family? What was the messaging around emotions? Was there a place for me to have them? Was there a place for me to express them? What was I told about anger? What was I told about sadness? What was I told about my intuition? What was I told when I had a gut feeling? What was I told when I said, I don't want to do that. I don't like that person. I don't want to know, well, you're going to do it. What was I told around all of that? We're going to have a look at all of that so that you, within the space, yes, we'll talk about the collective, but I also want us to have a look at it in my family, and you will not be asked to share anything you don't want to share. You will journal it and you will have your own information down in front of you. If that's all you want to do, great. If you want to share it, great. But I want you to see, firstly, understand this is a program, it is inverted. Why is it inverted? How is it actually keeping me from my power? So emotions as weakness is inverted, and what instead will actually give us our power is having the belief that my emotions are my most important and valuable guidance system. They are part of my guidance system. They are part of my powerful creative force. I want to be connected to them. I want to be in tune with them. I want to regard them, right? And so why is this an inverted program? What is the messaging in the larger culture, society, the media, books, all of that? Where are we seeing the messaging? Then what is the messaging within my family? What was it when I was a child? What is it still now? And then having a look at where is this currently affecting me and keeping me from feeling the way I want to feel, creating the way I want to create, being within the relationships I'm having in the way that I want to be, being within my business in the way that I want to be, showing up as I want to show up. Because from the inverted program, where we're going to move to is your understanding, your insight, your recognition of how can I be more aligned with who I am and how can I be more authentic, because that is what makes you unbound. So the beliefs and the connection to the anchors is what weighs you down, and how you're going to move forward in this time, how you're going to move through time, how you're going to be the most aligned, how you're going to have your vibration the highest so that you can choose the timelines that you want to be in, or how you can choose the situations that you want to be, how you want to be showing up at this time, how you want to be creating at this time, and really connecting with your power. Your alignment is going to determine that. So I want to move you through whatever subconscious program is still running around, whatever messaging is so kind of ingrained into our everyday languaging and into what we see. You know, sometimes we can see stuff and we can go, oh, I know that's shit and I know that's not real, and yet we're still enforcing it in subtle ways. So a big part of each week is I want to take you through some guided meditation, some journaling, so that you can really connecting with, where does this still live in me? Where does this live in me in ways that I don't even know? What's my language around this? What's my beliefs around this? How is this actually making me make choices that I'm not aligned with? Because that is what is anchoring you down, and that is what is keeping you in experiences that you have outgrown, and possibly timelines that you don't want to stay in. So the next one that we're going to look at is victim indebted. So the messaging of that we're inherent victims, right? We're born of sin. We're born less than. We're born flawed. That is, of course, a very powerful religious message, but that is a message that runs across the board. That children come in kind of like clueless and when they need to be taught. Also, that children kind of come in like they have no values. As though children come in and have no values and no ethics, and they need to be taught them. This is an inverted program, big time. The fact that you would come in already as a sinner and then you have to be saved, inverted program, hugely inverted. The whole indebted, that you are indebted to society, that you are indebted to your parents, right? That wreaks havoc in many people's lives. There are many people that would feel like, I can't go against my family. I can't go against what I've been taught. I would love to be doing this, but I can't go against, I'm indebted. And I just want you to have a look at, how is that running in your mind? How is that running in your life? Where is it keeping you from being aligned? And of course, we're going to look at the collective messaging and the family messaging. What have I written down about victim and indebted? Like, so that we're at the mercy of life, right? We're waiting to be handed our power and our freedom. We have seen this in these times. So it's been in our face. It has smacked us around the chops. There is nobody left that, if you have a desire to be in your power and to be living from a place of freedom, whatever that looks like, because please know, this program is not about telling you what freedom looks like. This program is not about telling you that you are in the wrong place or the wrong relationship, that you should want this or shouldn't want this or should be that. I will not be telling you anything. I will lead you to a place where you can get insight and awareness and an understanding of where you are currently out of alignment for what feels right and what looks right for you. And then for you to choose freedom in whatever way that looks like for you. Because that's what sovereign living is about. Sovereign living is about making our own choices and being allowed to make them and not judging each other for somebody else's freedom that looks different to what freedom looks like for me. Alignment and freedom, I cannot determine yours. I am not living your life. I do not have your desires. I do not have your whole energetic and set of circumstances. I do not have your unique expression. You have that. So you're the only one that can know what alignment and freedom looks like for you. But what we have certainly seen in the last 2 years is even people who would, the whole concept of being a freedom fighter within itself shows how deeply that program runs. Even somebody that says, I value freedom so much I will march in the streets. I value freedom so much I will shout from the rooftops that what I see is wrong. And yet even the fact that we would think we need to fight for freedom shows how deep that program runs, because it means that we believe that freedom is something that exists outside of us, that somebody else has it, that power and freedom could be in the hands of an external person or an external energy, and we need to fight it back, or we need to ask for it. That in itself shows you how inverted all the programming around this is, and how the actual power and the truth would be that you have it. It is internally. So in that sense, we want to shift into, we want to get out of that slave mentality. We want to get out of the I owe you anything mentality. What you owe parents and owe and owe and owe. Now, ego could be triggered and go, well, so does that mean I just completely disregard everybody? Well, no, of course not. We are talking about aligning and authentic action. Aligned and authentic action will always be the most loving. It will always be the most loving. But we will stop doing things out of habit, or we will stop doing them out of fear, or we will stop doing them because we've been manipulated into them, and we will stop doing them out of feeling like, out of obligation. I'm not going to go along with you out of obligation. I'm not going to go along with you because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I'm going to go along with myself. And if those two things align, fantastic. And if they don't, then I will lovingly choose myself. Because my alignment with myself is everything. Which takes me into the next one, which is selflessness and martyrdom. So in the 4 weeks, we're going to cover emotions as weakness, victim indebted, selflessness and martyrdom. Another massive one, particularly for women. You get taught put yourself last. What can you do for others? That selflessness is like pious. It's like godly. We're really going to have a look at that. What is the messaging collectively? What is the messaging in the media, in movies, in books? What are we getting bombarded with? We have been bombarded with this in the last 2 years. People pleasing is a big one that stems from this, and I really want you to have a look at that in your life. So the whole selflessness martyrdom is why women often earn less. Even if you put women running a business, they will usually ask for less money for services than what men do. It's a whole inherent worth thing. It's a whole don't make others uncomfortable. I'm sure you can think of a million things immediately if you go to the whole of how you've been taught to be selfless. Martyrdom will most likely have been modeled to you from some woman in your life, either your mother, your grandmother, an auntie. Somebody will have modeled a martyrdom to its fullest. They will also have been most likely the most unwell, probably lots of health issues, a lot of depletion, a lot of tiredness. So we're really going to have a look at that. This program is the one that really teaches us to go against yourself, where we're really encouraged to go against yourself. It doesn't matter how you feel, what about the group? It doesn't matter what you want, what about your family? It doesn't matter how depleted you are, what about your children? Again, this is not about you looking at your life and going, well, fuck it all looks pretty terrible, I'm going against myself everywhere. This is about you looking at yourself and going, if this is what's in my life, then let me choose it in an aligned way. Most often, the things that are in our life, we actually want to keep there. Often it's the beliefs that need shifting, it's the perception that needs shifting, and it's how we approach something. Once we change how we approach it or the why we're doing it, we can most often be in our power without actually making anywhere near as many changes, or even if any changes, as you might think. So choosing instead. So so we want to change it from the inverted to the empowered. So we go from selflessness and martyrdom to actually recognizing and understanding that I can't give what I don't have. I cannot give what I don't have. I cannot give from a depleted place. Selflessness is actually not the way we've been taught. That is one of those concepts that is so inverted. So we get taught that it's selfless to go outside ourselves. It doesn't matter what I want, what do you want? It doesn't matter what my needs are. It doesn't matter how depleted I am, what can I give to you? What can I give? Where can I help? What can I do? What an inverted teaching. As though you could give from complete depletion. As though doing something for me out of obligation or from a place of people pleasing or fear that I might reject you if you don't do it, as though that would be a gift to me, as though that would be actually providing anything energetically to the whole that would be of benefit to anybody. What it actually does is it keeps us all in a very low vibration where we are working and moving through spaces from manipulation, from obligation, from fear. We want to raise the energetics. We want to raise the vibration and go, you know what? We're gonna turn that the right way up, and I am going to explain to you what the real meaning of selflessness is and what the real meaning of selfish is. So understanding that the health of ourselves individually benefits the health of the whole. I can only show up to my capacity. So when I am helping, when I am really full, and when I am filling up, and when I am drawing within to myself, that is what I can give. That is how I show up to the collective. That is how the collective needs me, healthy and whole. And then the fourth program we're going to look at is external healer and savior. Going to look at how that shows up from a health perspective, the external healer, how we've been taught doctor knows best, how we've been taught to completely disconnect from our own body, disregard our own knowing about our health. This is not me saying to you, disregard everything external, you are now the only one you need to look at. This is me really guiding you, firstly, to see why is this program inverted? Where does it show up in the collective? How are we taught it? Through the media, what is the messaging? Through school, then looking at more intimately and personally what it was and is the messaging within my family about the external healer, the external savior. And you may not realize how much that external savior messaging shows up within relationships, particularly for women, and how we get taught. Think about from the time little girls are exposed to fairy tales, they're waiting for a prince to come and save them, kiss them out of a unconscious state, slay dragons for them. It's that partly that victim mentality, partly that and big time the external savior. And that can still be going on in your relationship now. Many years later, it can be running while you wait for someone to save you. How many people right now are waiting for the government to save them, waiting for the doctors to save them, waiting for anybody to save them? Come and save me out of this. Waiting for God, waiting for, the second coming of Jesus. Anybody save me. Looking to practitioners that you might be seeing. Now, this is not, I don't want you to go, well, that's pretty pitiful, that's not me. We want to look at just where is this showing up Where is it anchoring me into a program that is running around in there, that is long-standing, that because of the messaging that gets reinforced of there is an external savior and I am waiting. This is not just a religious messaging, of course it is, but you will recognize actually how much that is, how much of that messaging is in our stories, in our media, in our movies, and how much it might have also been in your family. Wait for someone to come and do that for you. Don't do it yourself. Wait for someone who knows better. Wait for the expert. And I want you to really start to connect how that is anchoring you down, anchoring you in place, and really how that is keeping you out of alignment and keeping you out of your authentic expression of yourself. Because those two things, alignment and authenticity. So again, I want to remind you, I can't tell you what your authentic choices are. I can't tell you what is in alignment with you. Only you can do that. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of releasing the anchors. The whole point of me choosing these 4 inverted programs. There are many, but I feel like these 4 are a really good umbrella that actually cover a lot of our relationships, our role as women, our way in this world, our feelings and beliefs about ourselves, our bodies, our careers, all of that, how we show up. These 4 they are inverted. So they are sold to us as this is what will help you in life. This is what will make you a nice person, a good person. This is what you want to choose. And they're inverted because there's some truth in the way they're told, but they actually keep us from our power. And our actual power is activated when we start to question them, we start to turn them the right way up. So we want to look at each week in our 90-minute Zooms, starting next Saturday, the 14th of May, from 8:30 till 10 Australian Eastern Standard Time. I want to look at how does this program, what makes it inverted, how is it messaged, how does it show up, how were we taught it, how is it still enforced collectively as a society, in our education systems, in our medical systems, in media, books, movies, and then through guided meditation and through journal prompts, you're going to have time to have a look at how was this taught to me in my family, how does it still kind of get reinforced today or enforced, how is it punished, how is it rewarded, and then from that perspective have a look at, okay, how is this running in me, where does it show up, what kind of languaging am I using where I'm censoring myself, where I'm going against myself, where I'm actually living this as a belief, even though if you kind of gave it to me in the right kind of example, I would say, well, no, that's wrong, that's not right. These things live in us quite subtly and quite subconsciously. By recognizing where they are, you are becoming unbound. You are kind of snipping off your connection to the anchors, which allows you, in whatever way alignment and freedom looks like for you, to choose those things at this time, which is pivotal. So important. Has it always been important? Yes. Will it always be important? Yes. But let's face it, everybody on planet Earth at this time knows there is an incredible opportunity at this time. There is incredible energetics, and like never before, we are being encouraged to be conscious, to be aligned, to choose freedom, and to become unbound, so that we are choosing the timelines that we want to choose by choosing the vibration that we want to choose. And that's that. And I hope that this is helpful to you. Even if you don't do the program, I hope that some of the examples that I've given spark you to think about where you are bound to these programs, where you've been taught them, where they're showing up. If you do want to do the program, I would love you to join me. So as I've said, it is for women only. It is over 4 weeks, online, via Zoom, live Zoom, from 8:30 till 10. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It is going to be a smallish group. I'm not going to make it too large. It's live now. You can sign up through the links in my bio, through the link tree. You can do a one-off payment or you can do a 2-payment sign up. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to stop this live only because I don't want this to be too long for anybody who is watching the replay, okay? But I'm going to stop this live. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to hop on again straight away and do a check-in with you because I haven't done one here for a while. I've only been doing them on YouTube. So I'm going to do a check-in, and if you have any questions from anything I've said, join me on the next live. Join me anyway. Let me know how you are. I'd love to connect with you. But if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, just pop them in the comments or you can DM me. And I hope many of you will join me on this process of becoming unbound. I'm very excited about this program, and yeah, it's live and you can join up now. Okay, so I'm going to save this and come straight back. So I hope you can join me.